Why do some people save for months just to buy a pair of Nike sneakers, while others proudly wear World Balance? Why does Jollibee bring Filipinos abroad to tears of joy, while San Miguel reinvented itself beyond beer? This week, we uncover the secret power of branding, the stories, emotions, and identities behind the names we trust. Join me as we explore how brands are built, positioned, and loved in the global stage, and discover how Philippine brands can stand tall among the worlds.
Yeah. Hi, good day everyone, and welcome to week 9. Okay, I hope you're doing fine. Week 9 is global branding and positioning. The power of a name. Imagine walking to a mall in Manila. On one side, you see a store with a large swoosh logo. Nike. On the other, a Filipino brand, World Balance, displays colorful sneakers. Both sell shoes, but what makes a student save 4 months to buy Nike when World Balance offer a cheaper alternative? The answer lies in branding and positioning. Brands tell stories, evoke emotions, and create identities. So let's go now to a very simple explanation. Simple thought now. So, example, if you see a name of a school, say an exclusive school, what thought comes into your mind? So people might be really rich, their parents are rich, probably the school has good facilities, and thinking that being there really has everything, no? The environment is really good for learning. What about a school that is so prestigious when it comes to intellectual alumni, or a school that is known for producing lawyers? Okay, so siguro alam nyo na yun, may mga at anong school naman ang magaling naman sa accounting, no, board passers, no? So if we try to be specific, let's say the name. Okay, so our school, for example, our school is known for producing top accountants, the College of Accountancy, and our College of Engineering also produces good engineers. Why? Because of stories you heard, because of proof, no, social proof, no. You know that most of the people are what? Are engineers coming from our school. So this is what we call brand. It's just like a name. My name, or how does my name now to you? How does you now come to know me? My name is already a brand. So a name tells a lot, no? How do we know about only a name, no? An intangible word? Through what? Through storytelling, through experience. So that makes a brand. Okay. So let's go now, let's dig deeper, no? Story of what brand equity is. What is a brand equity? We usually hear that in marketing. Okay. In the Philippines, Jollibee is more than just fried chicken. It represents childhood memories, birthday parties, and family bonding. Overseas Filipinos line up at Jollibee in Dubai, New York, or London, not only for the taste but for the feeling of home. That's correct. Now, I have a sister in London, and eating a crispylicious Jollibee Chicken Joy is really for them, no? It's really a privilege, so exciting. Imagine just eating a Chicken Joy. Okay? This is brand equity, the invisible power that makes a product more valuable than its physical ingredients. Consumers don't just buy fried chicken, they buy comfort, nostalgia, and belongingness. So that is brand equity. It is something that you cannot see in a product, but you could feel it, you could see it in your mind. And it gives you what? Comfort, nostalgia, and belongingness. And also, a lot, no? Positive, cognitive, psychological factors, no, that will make you feel good inside. That is brand equity. Or feel safe. The word is safe because you trust that brand, that name. So parang Mercury din yan eh, no? Mercury Drugstore, saka bibili ng gamot dyan sa isang drugstore na wala namang pangalan, o dito sa Mercury Drug that ang sabi nga nila, ang tagline nila, ang gamot ay laging bago, hindi expired. Diba? So, that is, no, minsan din, meron din generic drug versus the branded drug, no? So, parang sabi na nila, kahit sabihin nila ang generic is just the same, no? There's no brand, but still, you have some inclination on the branded medicine. Why? Because of its what? Brand equity. Okay? Positioning through narrative. So, with all this said, no, about brand equity, now, how could you build a brand using naman a narrative, a strong narrative or story? I'll give you an example, no? Think of Bench, a local fashion brand. When it started in 1987, it sold simple t-shirts, but Bench cleverly positioned itself as affordable, trendy, and proudly Filipino. It adds featured Filipino celebrities or endorsers like Richard Gomez in the 1990s. Siguro hindi nyo pa naabutan yun. Then, Catherine Bernardo and Daniel Padilla today. And also, they are using what? K-pop, no? K-pop celebrities. That's why it's so appealing. So, kung iisipin mo, sino talaga ang minamarket ng Bench? Is it the baby boomers, okay, like me, or the Gen Z, or the young Filipinos like you? The story of Bench is not just about clothes. It's about wearing confidence that fits every Filipino. Okay, another one. Nike's position is about performance and excellence. So, alam niyo na yung Nike. Mga imported na sapatos yun, galing US, no? The slogan, just do it, tells a universal story of perseverance. Whether you're a runner in Boston or a basketball player in Quezon City, Nike's message resonates. Greatness is within you. So, when you make a strong brand equity through narrative, you create what? A story. Okay. So, example again, another example could be what? The iPhone. Si iPhone naman, ang maganda kay iPhone, he walks the walk, talk the talk. Pag sinabi kasi ni Steve Jobs, no, ang ganda ng kanyang philosophy, no, it's not what the consumer wants, it's what we want. We tell the consumers, this is what you want. Paano yun, sir? Halimbawa, ang sabi nung panahon kasi noon, ang mga technology, like Nokia, wala pang touchscreen. Tapos sabi ni Steve Jobs, yung unang labas ng sabi niya, I want no buttons. Pero sabi ng engineer, ang galing na nga natin kasi dati pinipindot yung cellphone, no? Like Nokia, meron siya pinipindot. Ngayon sabi niya, I don't want any button, no button. So, ang ginawa ng engineers, they work hard, no? And they develop the technology of a touch screen. So that is what makes the strategy of Steve Jobs very wonderful, no? Ang galing niya mag-isip. Tapos, and ang pinaka-ano niya is simplicity. He wants the product to be simple but yet very functional. So, a narrative is something that you like to say about, to tell something about your product. And you must be consistent about it. It's just like a name. If you like to be seen by your classmate as well-loved, very studious, very respected, then you have to act and behave respectively. Okay? Respectably. Okay? And if you want to see your classmate in a negative way, then you do the opposite. So it's just like that, no? You try to tell through actions, words, and through feelings, no? What you is all about. So that's the meaning of the narrative, no? Positioning the brand, a strong brand through a narrative. Okay, let's go now to global versus local brands. Okay, so let's compare the two rubber shoes or sneakers, no? Example, let's have a story, no? One afternoon, a college student named Mark walks into a sports store in Manila. He has 2,000 pesos in his wallet, and he sees Nike Air Zoom Pegasus worth 6,500. And the local brand World Balance Sprint, it's only 1,800. Of course, his heart wants the Nike. Kahit sino ba naman, di ba? Kahit ako. Di ba? He dreams of being like his idol, LeBron James. But his budget tells him to buy World Balance. He chooses the local brand, yet deep down, he knows Nike holds a different status in his peer group. Yan. So the story reflects how global brands compete with local brands in positioning. Nike sells aspiration, while World Balance sells practicality. Did you get the story? It's the perception here. We are playing with the minds of the customer. Both has the same problem-solving solution. Rubber shoes. So comfort, you do sports, okay, there's rubber shoes. But the narrative in the brain of the consumers, how the brand reflects it or is interpreted by the consumer, really resonates in his mind in the decision-making buying process. Kasi pag imported, like for example si Nike, ang kanyang narrative is aspiration. Diba? Yung just do it. Diba? Parang nafe-feel mo yung emotions. Pero si Balance naman, si World Balance, there's no, the positioning of World Balance is practicality. Mas mura to, mas affordable. So if World Balance suddenly shoot up its rubber shoes and pair the pricing with Nike, do you think World Balance would sell? Do you think? Kung tinaasan ni World Balance yung kanyang presyo, tinapat niya kay Nike, do you think it would sell? Now, both of them now has the same what? No, there's no competitive edge. Either you choose World Balance or Nike. Saan ngayon magkakatalo yan? Sa narrative. Ano yung narrative? Dapat pakita nila there's something special, no? Something comparative advantage if you choose this one. Maybe some technology or probably that's regards to physical product, no? But if you try to position to something else, like for example, yun nga yung bench, no? Si bench is just t-shirt, di ba? Pero ang narrative ni bench, it's more on style, affordable, stylish fashion. Pero it's just a t-shirt. Pero yun ang pinosisyon niya, yung clothes ni bench, yung tatak ng bench. Pero kung tatanggalin natin yung tag kay bench at bibili ako sa Divisoria ng t-shirt, hindi nyo malalaman kung saan dyan yung bench. Kunyari, tanggalin ko yung logo and sell it to you. You don't know where the t-shirt came from. You will not really know kung saan galing, and probably you will buy you will look at the product as one and the same. Kasi nga, it's the power of that brand equity or yung strong brand recognition. Okay? Country of origin effect, stores of perception. Okay, let's have another story. Ito naman, another concept, no? Country of origin effect. How does this affect brand equity? Okay, a balikbayan from Japan gives his relative in the Philippines a Toyota car. Wow, siguro matagal na siya doon. Medyo may naipon na. Bumili siya ng sasakyan. Since Japan siya, OFW, binili niya ng sasakyan yung kanyang kamag-anak, Toyota. And Toyota is what? Made from Japan. The family instantly associate it with reliability, durability, and Japanese precision. Diba? Kahit naman tayo, no? Kahit ako, saksing buhay, nakarating din ako doon, they are really so particular about quality. Really. Meanwhile, when Filipinos send dried mangoes from Cebu to relatives abroad, the recipients treat them as premium, world-class products. So, yung mangoes from Cebu naman pala, pag in-export, kilalang-kilala yan sa pagiging quality mangoes, no? Very yellow yung skin, walang dark dark things, di ba? Pang-export quality. This is the country of origin effect. Yun ang meaning niyan. Our perception are influenced where products came from. Again, our perception is influenced where the product came from. So, kung galing siya sa Japan, quality. Right? Iba narinig nyo rin yung Swiss chocolate. Pag galing daw sa Switzerland, masasarap yung chocolate. Kasi doon yung mga high quality chocolates na they are known for that, no? So marami pa, no? For example, pag narinig natin yung chopsticks, saan yan? Probably some of you coming from China, Korea, or Japan. You see, that is the meaning of the country of origin effect. So that helps in building strong brand equity. Okay, another one is story of repositioning. So, how to create a strong brand equity by using story of repositioning. Example, San Miguel Corporation began as a beer company in 1890. So, ang tagal na pala niya, no? For decades, San Miguel Beer was the go-to brand for celebration. Diba? Kung naalala nyo yung ating tatay, okay, mga lolo, kahit ngayon, pag may celebration, parati merong inuman. Diba? At parati merong beer, no? Maraming ang varieties ngayon yan, eh, di ba? Even they reach out to young beer drinkers, yung mga may flavor, apple flavor. Well, anyway, but as global competition and consumer preference evolve, San Miguel repositioned itself today. It is a giant conglomerate involved in food, beverages, energy, and infrastructure. The story here is brand can evolve their identity to survive and grow. So, isang ano rin nito, pwede nilang palakasin pa yung brand equity, not only for one specific product that they are known for, no? Pwede silang mag-diversify. Ngayon, si San Miguel is pro infrastructure. So, sila yata yung nag-lead ngayon sa airport, no? And also sa mga highways, no? Meron silang parang arm for that, no? They engage in infrastructure and also food, no? Andyan yung Magnolia chicken nila, okay? And hot dog and this, no? So they diversify. So pag narinig mo na yung San Miguel is not really beer, no? But marami. But what about Colgate? Di ba? Di ba sa atin, pagbilin nga ng Colgate, ang Colgate sa atin, usually malakas pa rin yung yung impression na it's really for toothpaste. Pero ang Colgate's not only for toothpaste, meron silang mouthwash, meron silang dental floss. Okay? Pero malakas pa rin yung yung toothpaste, no? Ba? Okay. So, lessons in building global brands. So, here are the technique, no? Or strategies in the building global brands. First, tell a story. Just like Jollibee and Nike, they succeeded in connecting with emotions. Next, stay consistent but adapt when needed. Coca-Cola tastes the same worldwide but its ad reflects local culture. Ang galing, no? Si Coke, ang sabi, stay consistent, meaning to say your product but adapt when needed. So si Coke, yung kanyang inumin, pareho ang lasa but he adapts to the culture. So papalitan mo yung packaging, dapat it reflects their writing, their tradition, okay? Next is build trust, no? Filipinos SMCs aspiring to go global must create consistent quality so consumers link their brand to reliability. Like the Japanese car, no? We have Toyota, Suzuki, sa motor naman, Yamaha, it reflects what? Quality. Okay. Activity narrative. Okay, example, Nike versus World Balance. Okay, so this is a thought bubble for my students. No? Just think of it. No? All of you are marketing managers. When you finish your degree, you're already a marketing manager. And you were asked, no, to lead a Nike Philippine marketing strategy. No? How would you defend the premium pricing of Nike? For example, you finish your degree in this school and now you're a marketing manager. Now, think of it. how would you defend the premium pricing of Nike? So when you say premium pricing, medyo mas mahal, pricey compared with the local brands. Now, if you were now hired as a marketing manager in World Balance, how would you defend the budget-conscious market pricing strategy of World Balance? Think of it. Okay? So, in conclusion, branding as storytelling. Actually, branding is a storytelling. As its core, branding is not about product, but stories. It's not really switching the product like an ordinary t-shirt like Bench. It's the same t-shirt if you buy it in Divisoria, but what makes that t-shirt so different is the story that Ben Chan, the founder of Bench, put on the t-shirt. What's the difference between a car made in Europe, made in America, made in Japan? It's the story behind the car. Okay, so it's really about storytelling. As its core, branding is not about product but stories. Nike sells victory, Jollibee sells home. Home, meaning to say, mas sikat to sa ibang bansa ang Jollibee, like in London, New York, Dubai, where there are a lot of Filipinos who miss the Philippines. So pag kumain ka doon, you will feel like as if you were in the Philippines. Branch sells identity and San Miguel sells heritage. For the Philippines to produce more global brands, companies must learn to craft narrative that resonate across borders while staying true to their roots. So, global brands really is about storytelling and emphasizing what you could give value to your foreign markets, to your foreign customers. Okay, on that, I hope you learned something and thank you for watching. See you on the next session. Thank you.